Welcome to the family with.
Co-host
Hackmaster.
Captain.
Whoa.
Can you guys handle this or not? Should
thought
I
when-
start again, Andy?
For some reason down here I go second. I don't know why.
Ooh.
Correct.
That's
Okay,
right.
let's do it again. You ready? Welcome to the family with.
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
Hackmaster Ralph Toy Basham, MD, and
Andy Brant Barnard.
So you come to an agreement and the agreement falls apart.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we actually had the agreement.
There
We
you
didn't
go.
verbalize the agreement.
was
it
it
all works on the end.
was it written in the stone?
No,
it
I
wasn't
don't
written
think
in
it
stone.
was.
Wasn't written at all.
Oh, there's Jude licking my chair. He's got.
Aw, Jude.
Oh, there he hops up.
Why are you such a naughty dog?
He's good. He's good to go.
Judy, you're a bad dog.
Judy met about 15 dogs that looked just like him over the last 3 days.
He did. There were a lot of Cavaliers running around.
The Cavaliers. Jude, why do you lick everything I touch with my elbow or my foot or my leg or whatever? He loves
Gives
to lick
him
that.
endorphins.
I guess so. I thought it might be salty or
I
something.
think it gives him endorphins.
All right. Oh, there
Karen.
she is. She
Jude,
popped in.
gross. Get out of
Judy.
there. Kit.
He's not even listening.
Don't be
to her.
weird. God, disgusting.
Jude, you pill. What are you doing?
Enough.
Judy.
He's like, this one used to be a cow. I should lick this
I
leather
used-
chair.
I used to be a cow. So what's going on? Anything good?
Well, I just was reading something interesting. I don't know, since there's a doctor in the house, if he's got any opinions
please.
about fluoride. Apparently,
yeah.
a city in Florida already is taking out the fluoride in the water because
Well, if they didn't
of
like
some
fluoride, why
studies
didn't they
that
say that?
show that it's bad for your thyroid, Andy.
Well, I don't have one
As a
anymore, so
child-
what do I care?
Yeah, but I mean, that might have started your problems. It was a bunch of there's a bunch of studies saying that I think it's 0.02 fluoride is okay, but anything above that is kind of bad, or sometimes very bad, and sometimes the water is 2 point instead of 0.02, and that's causing a lot of problems because they weren't looking at it. I
Roll it
remember when we
properly.
moved up to Dayton, Minnesota. You were about, a year old.
1 or 2,
And
yeah.
we had a well.
Mm-hmm.
And the dentist actually wanted me to give you fluoride drops, which I
Yep.
did because I was told by a doctor to give you fluoride drops. And you've had nothing but health problems since you were like little.
I certainly have.
Sometimes I wonder if this is related.
Doc, what do you think?
Probably not.
Probably
Probably not. That's anecdotal experience. No, probably not.
But I mean, I was just reading this whole list because RFK Jr. wants it out of the water supply. And there's
think
quite
we're
a
the
few
only,
studies
like,
talking
We're
about
one
it
of
now.
very few countries that fluoridates our water. I know that much.
Yeah,
Did
and,
you ever look at British teeth?
That's a fair point.
but we have fluoride toothpaste now. We have fluoride,
Fluoride
treatments.
mouthwash, yeah. We got,
We've
you
got all
get fluoride
kinds
at
of
the
ways of
dentist.
getting
I mean,
fluoride in your
Okay,
teeth.
careful of talking over each other. You guys have been talking over each other the whole time.
not a big deal.
God, yes, it is a huge deal, believe me, to listen. So anyway,
God, Jude, stop it.
now he's licking the chair again. So what do you think, Doc? Fluoride good, fluoride bad? Is there any deal?
It certainly is good for your teeth. You know, if anything is over fluoride or over added or add too higher concentration, it may not be bad for you. It may not be good for you, but it may not be bad for you either. You know, it's hard to get controlled double-blind studies on stuff like this anymore because it's been in the water for so
Yeah.
long. So
What do you think, Kostaki? Fluoride? No fluoride.
Fluoride sounds like a Greek god, right?
It does.
the god of dentition.
Fluoridos, the god of teeth.
The God of teeth.
I don't know. I mean, I agree with everything I've heard you guys say. I think adding stuff to water is probably not good for you in the long run, but it's
Yeah, and
definitely
did
good
they
for
ever do
teeth.
studies with fluoride with chlorine? Did they ever
Chlorine.
Yeah, I think
figure
the
that that's a
original,
good idea?
The original studies were with chlorine because it was chlorinated water that they were adding to city water. Chlorine's
Oh,
been in
yeah.
water for a long time.
Yes, it
Down
has.
here in Florida, I think they add about 700 buckets of chlorine to every drop of water.
Yep. And sulfur. Don't forget sulfur.
It is so gross down here.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's over chlorinated in the city. You can smell it coming out of the tap.
Right.
Yes, you can.
Gross. Yeah.
Oh, well, Kostaki, how are things going? So where are you right now?
I'm home. I'm home in L.A.
Oh, you're in LA. Okay.
Los Angeles, home of the Chargers, are finally getting it together. They look like a good team finally, and the Rams and the Falcons lost, but we're still number one in the division, so I'm okay with that. Mostly, I'm ready to do 17 Cowboys jokes because that's always fun.
God,
That's
what
something we can all
happened?
agree on.
One of the greatest teams of all time, and now they've been horrible for how many decades?
Long time.
They really, I wonder if statistically Cowboys fans get fewer divorces, because if you're willing to hang in there this long because it was good in 1994 or whatever.
Didn't they win the Super Bowl like 3 or 4 times?
They
in,
had
like,
a dynasty, yeah,
Yeah.
in like 92 to 96. They had a
Right.
crazy good run. And that's it. That's not much since. Last night before the game started, pieces of the retractable roof fell onto the
Oh,
field.
God, yeah.
Oh.
Jerry's world is literally falling apart. Even the stadium is tired of watching the Cowboys play. It's sad when your roof tries to throw itself off the roof.
It did, too. It was floating down. It was really weird.
Suicide.
Yeah. By the way, if you think the roof is open so God can watch your team, you have to see the roof collapsing as part of his Yelp review. Cowboys have certainly lowered the ceiling.
Did
There
your
were-
audio just get weird?
Yeah,
It did a little bit.
Okay.
All of a sudden, it's very tinny.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not me, right?
I think it is.
I think it is.
Change my tone or
Did
anything?
you touch anything?
Yeah, just all of a sudden sounds tinny. That's weird. Because you were just fine, and then all of a sudden it just changed.
Oh, I
It's
didn't.
not unlistenable or anything. So.
No, it's fine.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
Let's also make fun of the Jaguars because they lost 52-6
Oh.
God.
to the Lions. The Lions scored touchdowns on their first 7 drives.
Oh,
The Jaguars were 14-point underdogs in this game.
Wow.
They did not cover. There was no covering. It was like Mike Tyson's ass. No covering
oh.
at all. The Jaguars were without Trevor Lawrence, so they were 1 jag off. That made it.
Oh, see?
I knew that was coming. I knew it. I could feel it.
The Lions. If the Lions are atop the food pyramid, the Jaguars are plankton or whatever plankton eats. They're not good. Lions scored 52 points. It's like they're finally making up for all those points they didn't score in the prior 4 decades. they're going
True.
bananas now. All right, here's a fun stat for you, Tom. I know you like this kind of thing. The Lions outproduced the Jags 645 to 170 yards.
Oh.
This is the largest margin since 1979, when in a game the Rams got 482 yards and the Seahawks got, wait for it, -7
-7 yards.
Oh,
on the
boy.
game.
That's pretty embarrassing.
That's
bad.
hang your
That's
hang your
tough.
head in shame. Yeah, that's
Oh,
bad.
I don't know how prevalent fantasy was back then, but that's a bad day for your Seahawks.
Oh
-7
God.
-7 total? No, that's
total
not rushing.
net
That's
yards on the total yards for the offense on the game -7.
God.
Did they all just lay down and die? What happened? I mean,
No,
how do you do
that would have been 0. This is
Good point.
this run for 4, get sacked for 10.
Ugh.
Right? Yeah,
Boy.
-7. Funny. The Jaguars coach is on the hot seat. His seat is so hot his kids are playing The Couch is Lava.
Oh, I like that game, though. Isn't there a TV show now, The Something is Lava?
I think there is. And there's a song
there?
that got to be a big hit on YouTube. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Floor is Lava TV show.
Floor is Lava.
2020, 3 seasons.
3 seasons of The Floor is Lava?
Yep. Obstacle course filled with 80,000 gallons of some liquid on the floor. You touch the
Oh.
liquid, you're dead.
Oh, okay.
Probably not real lava. Come
I
on.
Probably
I
not.
think it's lava, no, but
Where's the fun in that?
a little too dystopian, I think.
Jaguars, they need to fire everybody. All the coaches, the GM. They should fire the spots off of the mascot to just get a restart. Become the Cougars. Those are native to Florida, right? 47-year-old chicks at the bar.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Hey, some of those are my friends.
Hey, I know. And they're younger than me now, so I'm totally interested. Bengals, Niners, and Ravens all lost. They're just not as good as you want them to be. They're like my relationships. Like,
Just okay.
they're fine. We had some good times. And at the end, the Ravens couldn't make 2 points. Sounds like my marriage. Am I right, everybody?
Oh, God. Here we go. How's she doing, by the way?
But she.
Which one?
Which
Wife one or wife two?
Which she? That's really nice.
Well, I didn't marry the first one, but I presume that's the one you're asking about.
No,
She's doing good. We've been getting along. I saw her recently. She still makes me laugh, man. She's a character.
well, that's good.
Yeah, it's funny. For the listeners, we're talking about Caroline Ray, who was Sabrina, the teenage witch, the aunt on Sabrina.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
that's
used to sometimes watch that show, and I would put it on mute just because it was fun to have the power.
Oh, God. Gee, you kids got along well, huh? That's good. That's great to hear.
This is a joke I used to do with my ex sometimes. When I worked with her, we would go on the road together. It was fun. I was watching Sabrina, and at one point she was cooking dinner while a cat is talking to her. And I was like, this is not realistic. This woman does not cook dinner.
Oh.
She's funny, man. Look her up. She's a good follow on Instagram and whatever.
She's still getting out on the road?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. She's very nice. She used to come in the studio. I
She fills
remember.
up a room, man. She's a bubbly personality.
Alex loved that show.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
She watched it a ton.
Well, when I first started dating her, we would be walking through airports, and little like 9-10-year-old girls would run up to her. They knew her from Sabrina. And I remember joking about it. I go, well, someday these will be college girls, and that'll be fun. And I literally was with her through that arc. And now they're like grown-ups that come
Yep.
find her, and kids don't know who she is. It's
Yeah, they're
funny.
40 years old.
It's funny, the cohort just ages, they just grew up with you. It's so
Yep.
interesting. The Chicago Bears lost their 11th straight game to the Packers.
Oh,
Wile E. Coyote's got a better record against the Packers.
It does.
Is it really a rivalry if you've lost 11 in a row? It seems more like a dominatrix situation. It's not really.
God, that's sad.
The Bears fired their offensive coordinator, which is a little like firing the violinist on the Titanic as it goes down. Like,
His
I don't know
fault.
if it's gonna. Draft analyst said Caleb Williams was a sure thing, and coach Matt Eberflus said, "Hold my Bears."
Oh, get it?
A little bit of wordplay.
I can't
Yeah.
believe Eberflus isn't a Swedish cold remedy.
Everflus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eberflus, get rid of this cold, dude.
It's a beautiful language.
Yeah. 2026, the NFL is hoping to play a game in Australia. People always say the same thing from Australia. It's not that far. Like, yeah, it's far. It's on the other side of the earth. If Australia were any further away, it would be closer. That's how far away it is.
That is true. It is about as far as you can get.
It is. The only thing further is a Panthers Super Bowl appearance. That seems far.
Oh, cold. True. True, though.
True. So I thought about our conversation this week, Tom, about who we think's going to wind up in the Super Bowl, and I feel like this weekend's game sort of supported what we were saying. It's Bills and Chiefs, and I mean, there's a handful of teams that feel like they're very much in the conversation, and the rest of them are going nowhere.
You know what's kind of sad about that? Every time I see the Buffalo Bills logo, I think of Scott Norwide. Every time.
Oh, wow.
Isn't
That
that?
poor
I mean,
guy.
how long ago was that?
I was in college. I actually went. I lived in Tampa. It was in Tampa, if I have the game right. We got like case of beer and went and sat in the parking lot of the Super Bowl and drank beer. We saw the jet fly over and you could hear the national anthem, and we hung out. Like, we couldn't go to a game. We were college kids, but we wanted to be near the game, and it was fun. That was the game. That was 1990-ish.
God, was it 34 years ago?
Yeah, it's that long.
Oh,
Yeah. And that guy's still wandering around.
Norwide.
Norwide is still wandering around, getting angst from Bills fans.
God. Oh, well, you had OJ, they had Scott Norwide. They had a bunch of good players on that Bill squad.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, over the years they've had, and this Josh Allen kid is amazing. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, he actually is. That's absolutely true. But
I think he could win the league's MVP. We'll see.
how many teams within one game of leading there must be, 10, 12 teams that are either even keel or one game out? There's a lot of teams.
Yeah, there are a lot of teams, but I feel like, one of the jokes was, the Niners and the Bengals and the Ravens, these teams that we think are good, they keep losing, and we have to change our feelings about them at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a few really good teams, and there's some terrible teams, and then there's a bunch of in the middle. I guess it's the bell curve of what it is. But the Falcons are number one in the division, even though they lost again too. So
Look at you.
they're fun they're at least fun again. They're at least 500-ish. We'll see.
What's really sad about that is Jacksonville. Have they ever had one good season?
They had there was a year that Bortles went to a deep playoff run and lost to Brady somewhere. That was probably their best year. And when I feel like when I first started playing fantasy with Mark Brunell and Keenan McCardle,
sure,
Fred Jackson, there was a team that was somewhat good way back, but it's that team that might be the toughest because even the Browns are kind of good sometimes in the last few years. And the Lions are now maybe the best team in the NFL. That's the long-suffering franchise. But yeah, the Jaguars are definitely top 2 or 3 tough franchises.
Isn't it great to be top 2 or 3 with the worst record?
Oh,
that's really great.
Yeah,
you're almost the worst team ever.
Yeah, they're bad, and their colors suck, and their city's disappointing. That's teams. That's a tough team to root for. Yeah, right, because I was born in Florida. I love Florida, but Jacksonville, it feels like it's a little bit industrial. There's a bunch of insurance companies there. It doesn't feel Florida-ish to me.
Well, except for when I was at the Big Ape, then it was wonderful.
I used to go there for the Georgia-Florida games.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Once a year, late fall, it got cold in Georgia. You had to put your shorts away. And then once a year, you drive 5-6 hours south and you're back in shorts.
Yep.
Root for Georgia, Jacksonville. It's a fun game.
Very true. So the Vikings are now what are they now? 8-2?
Something like that.
I think they're 8-2. There's 7 games left in the season, I think, aren't there? I think that's true. But in any case,
yeah, that is true because it was 3 plus 3 plus 1. That's right.
So I mean, the only problem I have with that, yes, they've been winning their games lately, but not very good teams.
Right. Yeah.
That's a bit scary.
And they have been kind of overachieving, right? So
yeah,
you do feel like it's that standard Minnesota, when is it going to fall apart kind of fear, right?
Because they always do. They always fall apart. There's no question about it.
We'll see. It's fun. Right now they're good. They're definitely going to make the playoffs unless something crazy happens.
One of the greatest moments in my life was after they lost their 4th Super Bowl. 4th Super Bowl. You ever been to Mayslack's bar in Northeast Minneapolis?
No. Mayslack's? That's a great name.
Stan Mayslack, he was a professional wrestler, very, very big guy. You didn't act up at Mayslack's because if Stan came out, you weren't going to go home with all your body parts. That's just a fact. He had somebody come in, an artist come in after they lost their 4th Super Bowl, and they painted this gigantic mural, and there were all these headstones, and at the bottom it said, Grant's Tomb, the Super Bowl. Grant's tomb. Oh,
Nice.
that's pretty good, man.
That's good writing.
That's good writing. Oh, God, that was a great place to hang out. Wonderful roast beef sandwiches. Stan Maslack made the sandwiches.
God, you'd come home stinking like garlic for about 3 days.
Well,
Like,
thanks for
you'd come in, I go, Maslax? Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Did you go to Maslack's? Yes, I did. No question.
Didn't even need to open your mouth.
No question about it.
That's a good husband. You don't know where he's been, and he smells like garlic. Some sandwiches with the boys. All right.
God, that was a fun place to go. I should probably still. I got to get back over there. I was over there about a year ago with a bunch of coppers because I get together with a lot of cops once in a while. I've always been a big supporter of the police, and whenever we get together, we go to Maslack's. It's wonderful.
It's still there. That's cool.
It is still there. Stan's not around anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, it's quite the place. No, one thing you didn't want to do in Maslack's bar is swear.
Oh.
Stanley did not like people swearing in his bar, and when he would stand up, he just kept standing up and kept standing up because he was a huge guy. You're like, okay, you're right. I won't swear again ever. I'm sorry about that. What the hell? It all works out in the end, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, God. I tried to change the subject because you're scaring me with the end of the season now, 7 games to go, and the Vikings are looking okay against some pretty mediocre teams.
Yeah. Well, that's where they are. They're B plus.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a good way to put it. They
That
are
is.
B plus.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
Hey, I'd happily get a B plus, especially rooting for my football team. It's been, D plus for a few years.
How about the Super Bowl victory? How about that? Let's get that going.
Let's do it. I would love to see a Vikings Super Bowl victory. That'd be a great storyline. Got to beat the Lions to get there.
Been a long time.
God, the Lions are good. What the hell happened to the world? The Lions are a great team.
I know. Your team's finally good, and the Lions are the best they've ever been. That's
What a shock.
not very convenient timing.
No, it really isn't, but what the hell. Whatever works. I do love the NFL season, though, because, although it does lead to winter in Minnesota, which is not great, but
Right.
that's the downside of it. But it also leads up to Christmas, which is a good thing. And then they play the championship game after Christmas, which is a good thing. When is it now? Like, when is the Super Bowl now? Like April?
They really should. I love the pitch that I've heard this season of adding one more bye week, one more game, and then the Super Bowl lands on the President's Day weekend so that you have the Monday off. That would be nice to have Monday off.
President's Day is what, like the 10th of February or something?
Yeah, it's maybe the week after that because I think the current Super Bowl
was the week after that, okay.
Yeah, let me see. I've got it in here. Yeah, this year's Super Bowl is on February 9th.
Yeah, that makes sense because the week after.
Yeah, President's Day this year is the 17th. So if it went back one more week, then you have the day off after the Super Bowl, which is what people have been arguing for forever.
Right.
They keep arguing to put it on Saturday, but that's not likely to happen.
Yeah, let's not do that. Why do they want it on Saturday? So you have the 2 days off there. You got a day before and a day after the Super Bowl. Is that what they're talking about?
But I guess. But if it's the day before President's Day, then it solves all the problems.
Right.
And,
What's wrong with it being on Saturday? Is it?
That's a college football day.
Yeah.
Not then.
Yeah.
Well, not then. You're right about that. That is true.
And the NFL happily plays Saturday games. Once college is over, I'm okay with the Saturday concept.
Yeah.
But it does feel like it's Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. It does feel like we've embraced that as part of what it is.
Yeah.
Iconic imagery of it. But
Let's get it going. Let's get her going. And by let's get her going, I mean, could you win a Super Bowl before Uncle Tommy dies? Is that okay? Could you win one? Jesus. Since I was a little boy, for God's sake. It's true.
you feel the pain of all these years. Yep. I totally relate. My team's never won either.
I was 8 years old when I think maybe 8, about to turn 9 when the Vikings came into being, and they still haven't won a Super Bowl, and I'm a little older than 9 years old now. So let me point that out to you.
I at least had my college team win the national championship somewhat recently. That's fun. Do you have a
Well,
college team that's in the conversation?
University of Minnesota last won the national championship in 1960. So
They're go-getters.
This is the Gophers.
Yep.
the Minnesota
Yeah.
Gophers.
Golden Gophers.
That, I believe, was the year the Vikings actually started. So they won the national championship. Now we've got a professional team. This is going to be phenomenal.
What if you pick a second favorite NFL team to root for? Maybe
That's
that.
what I said.
Second favorite NFL team. What that? Well, it'll be nobody in the Central Division. I can guarantee you that. Or the NFC North, I guess it is now, but it used to be the Central Division. Yeah, I don't know if I could pick another team. I was a big Don Shula fan. That guy could win some football games. Miami was pretty damn good, but they haven't been anything, about 40
You
years.
can't pick your new second favorite team based on Don Shula.
Why not? It was his influence on the team. Has a very important influence.
Can do
Well, that's
it.
kind of your other home team, right? That's your neck of the woods, right?
I guess. Would it be Miami? I suppose that'd be the closest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yeah, it's closer.
I kind of want to be a
Tampa.
Buccaneer, though, just for fun. But they
Yeah.
suck, too, right?
Nah, they're pretty good this year. I
Oh.
mean, they're 500-ish, but that's the team the Falcons have to sweat about because
Okay.
they have a lot of very soft teams coming up on their schedule, so they could have a run here and really put it together. Yeah, Baker Mayfield's been great. The quarterback's
Right.
play has been good, and the team's been fun. I've been rooting against them for years, so
That's good.
but they're they're a division rival,
No
they're good.
question about it. I don't know. It's good. I'm having a tougher time this year, and again, the Vikings are having a good year, and not. I don't know if they're beating any good teams, but at least they got a good record and all the rest of it. Because I got to be honest with you, to go through an entire World Series where the two teams are New York and LA, it's like, Jesus, can anybody in the middle ever win anything, or what's the deal? Good God.
Those Kansas City Chiefs are in the middle. They've had a pretty
Yeah,
good
that's
run.
true. That's true. Good point.
But yeah, I hear you about the coasts, this coastal elite baseball teams.
They are. There's no question about it. They certainly are. Well, we almost got the San Francisco Giants here. It was going to be the Minnesota Giants when they left New York, but then for some reason, I don't know why it happened, where the Cooper Theater used to be was going to be Candlestick Park, and that is still what that area is called. They still call that area in Minneapolis Candlestick Park, even though they never built the stadium.
Huh.
It was the Cooper Theater for years. Now they tore that down too, so I don't know what the hell good that's doing. But yeah, we were going to be the Minnesota Giants, and then San Francisco pulled them out there and said, "Nah, come out here," and they did. So what are you going to do?
There's a basketball team here in LA that's from your neck of the woods, right? The Lakers, aren't they?
The
from
Lakers. Yeah. The
They're
Minneapolis
named
Lakers.
after your
They were.
10,000 lakes.
The Minneapolis Lakers, and I think they won, God, how many championships, NBA championships did they win when they were in Minnesota? A lot. Of course, that was when I was about 1, but, that's the problem with that argument.
We got to get you connected with a team that could win something in the next few years. That's
Yes.
How about a championship from, let's see, it's not going to be you know what I love? The state of hockey has never won the Stanley Cup. It's like, good God. Oh, I mean,
The Lakers left in 1960.
yeah, there you go.
long time
Right when the
ago.
Vikings
Oh
came.
wow! I didn't realize it was that
Yeah.
far back.
They're 1948 to 1960. They were here, and yeah, they won a bunch of championships at that time.
Yes, they certainly did. You know who one of the I think he was a minority owner, was Sid Hartman.
Huh?
Sidney was a legendary sports reporter here in the Twin Cities, Kostaki. I miss Sidney. He was a dear friend of mine. Well, his son Chad and I are still really, really good friends. But did you have, growing up, a legendary sports reporter in your town?
Yeah, there were a few in
Yeah.
Atlanta. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool to have a legendary sports writer in your town. Is great.
Right. Yeah. You connect with these voices and
Yep.
these writers. It's a part of the story. When I went to the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I'd driven by it. I've been near it. I've almost gone all these different times. I finally had a day off and had some time. I just went. It was weird how much I was crying in there.
Oh yeah, I
It
could
was just
see that.
like all the memories and the connections with the family and the friends and the talks and the story arcs and the underdogs I never really thought I cared that much about sports, but it was pretty cool. It was touching. There's some great stories.
Well, celebrating your childhood, probably.
Yeah, some of it, like the picture of Michael Winslow being helped off the field.
Yeah.
And there are all these sort of iconic moments from the NFL that become a part of the fabric of your life. It's crazy. I never even thought of it that way till I was there.
Do you have a couple more minutes? Because I want to ask you about things that are attached to sports that have nothing to do with sports. You got a couple
Sure.
more minutes?
Yeah, sure.
There was a guy, and I won't say his name, but you remember Scott Studwell? He was a legendary linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings.
No, I don't remember
Oh,
that.
Scott. Oh, God, he was a phenomenal player. Scott's a good friend, just a great guy, but just a tremendous football player for the Minnesota Vikings. And I'm at a bar one night. What the hell was the name of it? I was working at Capitol Records at the time, and so I was there supporting my. I don't remember the band or what the hell. I don't remember who that was, but this woman comes up to me and said, "Tom, you're a big football fan, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I love it." She goes, "Vikings, Viking fan?" I said, "Yeah, Vikings are phenomenal." She goes, "Well, I'm dating Scott Studwell." And I said, "What? You remember Scott Studwell? You remember him, number 55? No? But he was phenomenal. And he's a great guy, too. But here's what I love." He said, it's kind of interesting because, I hang out with him on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, Fridays. But then, Saturday and Sunday come along, and I don't see him because he has to, go to the final practice before the game and then the game on Sunday. Well, but that's kind of weird because here he is now. It wasn't Scott Studwell. The guy told this woman he was Scott Studwell. Lion sack. What a horrible thing to do to somebody. "Oh, honey, I got to leave early because I've got a game today."
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Howdy. He's got weekends off. This is evil genius.
It was evil genius. It really was. And by the way, if you were a guy who liked football, you looked at it and went, "There's no way that guy's a professional football player." Not happening.
Well, Scott Studwell was 6'2" and weighed 228, so
Yeah,
unless
all
this guy
muscle.
was relatively large, it'd be difficult to believe.
Nah, he looked more like Jackie Gleason.
6'2" and 228, but the other kind of 228.
The other kind of 228.
The other kind.
But those are the great memories of all of that stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, you're Scott Studwell. I forgot. Like, yeah.
Well, these days you couldn't do that anymore because people just Google him and be like, "That's
Right.
not you."
Yeah,
But
that's
back
exactly
then, yeah,
right.
I mean, before the internet, what do you do? I mean, I guess you could just like go to the library and give me like, I need a picture of Scott Studwell in one of your books.
Right.
Just to make sure.
You got to get the program from the stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking too, I guarantee you when he met her, this guy, whatever his name really was, when he met her, I'm sure his first question was, "So, you watch a lot of Viking football?"
Yeah,
"No,
right.
not actually." "Well, I'm Scott Studwell."
How good's the picture on your TV? Bad, you say?
Yes, exactly. You can't really see anybody's face.
He kind of looks like him in
But
black
again,
and white.
As you pointed out, 6'2", 228, solid muscle. Scott's a very handsome guy, too, on top of it. That's the guy you picked to pretend you are?
Yeah, right.
And
Why
his
would you
name's
go
Studwell. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Studwell.
I mean, come on.
Studwell on top of it, but oh God, I'll never forget them. Like, it's not Scott Studwell.
I like this
but
premise though. I'm gonna steal it.
you're gonna give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Who would you be if you had a chance?
You know, do you follow stand-up comedy at all? No. I'm Dave Chappelle.
There's a good call right there. You and Dave Chappelle. He's a little shorter than you, though, isn't he?
I'm not going to be available on weekends. Because
I
I've got sets, you see.
I got to do some shows.
I wonder how many times this has been pulled by women to men, men to women. I bet
A
you that
lot.
happens a lot.
Well,
You
not
think?
anymore, like I said.
I
Oh,
mean,
because
it's-
of the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, but like probably back then, I mean, if you're unscrupulous enough, you're not going to get caught for a long time, probably.
No,
Especially if
true.
you like, go out of town, like, go to, Iowa and say like you're a member of the Lakers. And like,
Yeah.
what are they going to do? Say, no, I'm too familiar with them?
That's true. That is true.
You're clearly not.
And then you have weekends with your family.
While I'm busy
Yeah.
playing my made-up fake football game.
You're running around with your girlfriend Tuesday to Thursday, and then weekends with family.
I will never forget. Oh, in fact, here comes Scott now. I'm like, where? I was almost said, I don't see Scott. Where is he?
I like to imagine he didn't actually know anything about football.
Probably
she
not.
always asked him questions about it, so he had to
Yeah.
make stuff up.
Make it up as he went along.
What's the football feel like? Well, it's like a ball of ice, surprisingly.
Wait, you don't
Very
know anything
cold.
about stand-up comedy? I'm Sarah Silverman.
Yes, I'm Sarah Silverman. Where the hell is Sarah Silverman? I haven't seen her in a long time.
She's here. She's doing well. She's
Is she good?
She did
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph, and now she's set for life.
she's Wreck-It Ralph, and that's what sets her for life.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what did it.
She's great. I'm a big fan.
I agree with you. I think she's very. Why did she have a bit of an attitude toward? And if she did, I love that. By the way, you may have noticed that the woman I'm married to has a bit of an attitude. You know.
Oh, I'm
Edgy.
sweet and dainty.
You're dainty, aren't you? She's dainty. But Sarah Silverman's a very attractive woman. I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
met her in person. No, I have met her. She did come in the studio a couple of times. That's true. Yeah, she's a very attractive woman. Is it harder for very pretty women to be funny?
Boy, that's a great question. I've wondered that.
I don't think so anymore. I think
Not
it used to.
anymore.
Well, remember back in the old days when women used to make themselves like look really dumpy, like housewife things.
Well, what's her name? That she was actually a very attractive woman, and when she went
Lucille
on stage.
Ball.
No, not Lucille. After God, she
I'm talking way
I know
back
who you're
when.
talking about, but
had the big ratted up hair and
Phyllis
Yeah.
Diller.
Phyllis Diller, exactly.
Wow.
She was actually a very pretty woman, but you'd never know it
Well,
seeing her act.
If you ever
Right.
watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel,
Yeah.
that's what they were. Part of that show was about that woman who was the big comedian at the time, and she had to make herself into some frumpy fat housewife.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I do think it's tricky because when you walk on stage, if you're a very attractive woman, you're bringing it changes the energy of the space.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
The women
true.
get a little like tense and threatened, and the dudes are dumb, and like it changes the space.
You hear horns going, "Hooga!"
Right. Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Like you said, Sarah Silverman's like she's like supermodel hot, and
She is, yeah.
There've been a handful of very successful, beautiful women in comedy lately, including Nikki Glazer, who's having a really good run.
Who's she hanging out with these days?
I don't know. She's got my dream job now. She does football jokes on after the Amazon game on Thursday nights.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's doing well with that, and she was really great at the Tom Brady roast. She had maybe the best
Yeah.
set of the night. So
Yes.
and then her HBO special came. I mean, she's on a rocket ship right now. She's a big star.
Who was the woman that was hanging out with Bobcat for a while? It was Nikki somebody. Wasn't Nikki?
Oh, that was he married like a sitcom actress, like
Yeah.
just
Cox?
like
Nikki,
Nikki
is it Nikki
Cox.
Cox? Is that
That's
who
what
it
it
is?
is.
Yeah. He's since moved on back to more of a traditional path. But yeah, he did marry like he called her a Barbie doll because some people are just built, if she ate junk food and was just beautiful without even trying,
Did she have a lot of friends?
Maybe not. No, but I did notice the reason I asked that. I haven't talked to Bobcat in a long time, but I mean, Bobcat used to come into the KQ morning show about 5-6 times a year. He
Yeah,
came in
he's-
constantly.
He's great on the radio. He's so in the moment and got these great stories. Yeah, Bobcat's funny.
But when he was with her, he had a real attitude, man.
Oh, really?
Oh, look who I've got with me. It's like, Bobcat, why don't you calm down? I haven't talked to him in years now. Since I think we promoted one of his movies, and I haven't talked to him since. It's been years since I've talked to Bobcat. Is he
I
still
have
doing stand up?
Yeah, he does stand up. He writes and directs these crazy, like weird, dark films. That seems to be his passion. And he directs a lot of things. Like he was a director on The Man Show, and there's a lot of these sort of
I
things
didn't
you
know
wouldn't
that.
know, but he's directing them. Yeah, he's a very creative, interesting, thoughtful dude. He's the one who took me to Tarpon Springs, and we like ate Greek food and sat around on the beach and talked about
Oh,
life.
there
He's
you
a
go.
really smart, interesting guy.
He is.
Did you
yeah.
dive for sponges?
That's what you
Oh,
do there.
a
They
Greek
do that
reference.
there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They speak Greek on the streets. You just
Yeah.
wander through the
It's very
streets.
Greeky.
That is a very Greeky place.
Very Greeky. That's what you're going with.
The place is Greeky as hell.
Kind of Greeky. What the hell? All right, what else you got, Pally?
It's nap time for me. I'm exhausted. I got up at 5 something to go talk to Bob and Tom. I'm tired.
How's that show doing? They're doing well still?
They're doing well. Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that.
you know, Bob left. He's enjoying his life.
Yeah, he's been going a long time now, but radio's not exactly on fire anymore like it used to be.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's true, radios. And the other thing about podcasting is you got, the people like, Adam Carolla kind of kicked it off, and now obviously Joe Rogan. So even podcasting has been taken over by, that segue from radio into podcasting is not that easy for a lot of people. Because,
Oh yeah. I'm sure.
no, it's just because it's a totally different business now.
Right.
Completely different. All right, we'll go take a nap, and then we'll Greek it up next week.
Sleepy time. I'll talk to you guys next week. Go
Thanks,
Vikings.
pal.
All right.
Bye.
Kostaki Economopoulos, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't call the show Quick Snaps anymore, does he?
No, I don't think so.
No, he
did.
does all pro lines now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There you
Yeah,
go.
he's changed stuff.
Wendy says you broke her heart by reminding her that we've never won a Stanley Cup.
It's my
So there's
fault. That is my fault. It's true. We never won a Stanley Cup.
Hard to
Thanksgiving
believe.
is next week. What are we doing about that?
Oh,
Will be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and that'll be that.
take
All right,
Thursday,
there you
Friday
go.
off. Okay.
Thursday and Friday we will not be around. So,
There you
Hackmaster,
go,
what do you
listeners.
got cooking?
So I don't know if I'm going to be around next week. Got a lot of work to do.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I know. Last day for me is December 12th.
Yep.
Last surgery day. So
Oh, the last surgery day is December 12th, so we're within 3 weeks almost.
3 weeks.
How do you think you're going to feel never going into the OR again?
Oh, I don't know. I've tried to
Conceptualize it.
conceptualize it or visualize. Cutting the last suture, tying the last knot. That kind of.
Oh yeah, you snip
Right.
that last suture, and that's
That's
the
it.
last
Yeah, you walk
surgical
away.
thing you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom might need a stitch in his finger.
There you go. Every so often,
Oh,
let's
feeling
hurt
that's
ourselves
fine.
so you can suture us up.
Yeah.
Just
Should
for
I
the
tell-
old, the
You have
old
a
days.
field kit with you at all times.
Should I tell the Hackmaster what happened?
Sure. Yeah, he's just been a bloody mess lately.
I have
Literally.
1, 2, 3, 4 scars on my legs. I've got a huge scar on cut on my finger. Where else? I got like
Your
7.
heel was
my
bleeding
heel
all over the
bleeding.
carpet yesterday.
So a few days ago, I went for a walk. I go out on the island, and these people are coming back the other way as I'm walking from south to north, and they said the tide is way up. You can't walk down this path because it's just the tide's way too high. I have never heard of that in the 27
No.
years we've been coming here. Never heard of the tide big.
I think we have a super moon or something.
Something.
yeah.
Yeah, that can happen then.
So I turn around and I go the other way, but then I get to the North Bridge and I go across the North Bridge and I figured, well, it's got to be fine. So now I'm off the island. I'm in West Palm Beach and I'm walking along and I see water in the street ahead, right?
Wait, this is where?
West Palm Beach, just, the North
The bike
Bridge.
path that goes by the Flagler Museum,
Yeah.
Yeah, you
right
know what
along
I'm
the
talking about.
intercoastal waterway.
Wow.
Kind of-
Water on the street.
Almost in front of the building you used to live in.
Yeah.
About a few blocks north of where you used to live.
Jeez.
So I'm going along, and I figured, well, yeah, there's water in the street, but no problem. It's not going to be that big a deal. I step in. The water is about 2 feet deep, and I'm not exaggerating. 2 feet deep. So I go to step up to get out of the water. I catch my foot on the top because my foot wouldn't rise. You in your brain, you're going, okay, I'll just lift my leg. Well, it's not going to go as fast as it normally does when you lift your leg. I literally fell flat on my face on the concrete and got, I think, 8 huge cuts on my body, on my legs, my finger, my feet. Honest to God, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like that.
And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, my heel hurts." Oh, wait, no, my heel's bleeding all over the place. I had a blister on there. He had a blister like that size
It was big, yeah.
on the back of his heel, just pouring blood everywhere. I've never seen a blister do that.
We got Timmy with a quick outro here, I think.
Yeah, hey, sorry. We had a propane, what we thought was a propane leak.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
That's scary.
But, it's funny, I guess. How often do you smell propane? I mean, we also fired up the heater because we got a gas furnace. And they're thinking, well, maybe it's the dust or whatever that.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
The first time you fire up that furnace, it always does have that interesting smell.
So, but the only reason we thought possibly the propane is because we got the tank replaced yesterday because there was a leak.
Oh.
So, lots of screwing around, busy morning. Sorry. Hey, Landman. Did you check out Landman yet?
Oh, God,
Yes.
yes. Oh,
Is Billy Bob Thornton freaking hilarious in
the
this?
best of all time. He's
He
one of
is.
the best ever.
He is not only funny, he's profound at times, what he
Yes.
says.
Yep.
And that family of his. And that stubborn-ass son of his. Why you would ever want to work in an occupation. This shows you just how dangerous that whole oil rigging thing is, isn't it?
Oh, God,
We only
yes.
watched the first episode.
Oh,
We didn't
really?
we didn't watch both. Yeah,
No.
it was
Okay,
it was
but
a
you
little
saw the
intense
first-
on the first one.
Yeah, the first one, yeah. So
Yeah.
that danger that I'm speaking of, and I have to tell you, it's always interesting when you get a show like that and they don't bill somebody the caliber of Michael Pena as a star. It's like, it's not going to end well for this guy.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's not going to end
Yep.
well.
Yep.
So it was kind of like, okay, this is interesting. I guess he could just be a guest star, but it's just kind of that setup was ominous. But what a great show.
Yeah, we haven't told anybody what happens at the end of the first episode.
No, you don't
but
want that would be a bad
let's just
spoiler
say it's
alert. You
ominous.
can't do
It's an
that.
ominous sort of
It's
situation.
ominous.
You can't do that.
But also, what did you think of the ending of Tulsa King?
No, we haven't watched the very last episode. We're on.
Ooh,
We
okay,
got
well, I'm
one
glad
more
I
to
didn't
go.
blurt out anything then.
One more to go, right, Catherine?
Yes, we're at the point where his daughter just moved back to New York. Is that is that the one before the last,
I
or
think it's number 9. I think there are
Yes.
10 episodes, right? I think that's
Yeah, and you know what? They haven't announced it yet, but from what happens there's a cliffhanger. I will tell you that. Just like there's a cliffhanger with the first one, there has to be another one.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already talking about ideas for it. It would be a shame, and I think because the way that Taylor Sheridan comes in and just his storylines, man, the guy is so brilliant.
No
And
doubt.
you can see that with Landman too.
Oh,
I
God,
mean,
yes.
This guy doesn't do anything wrong. Everything just fire. He's firing on all burners. This guy.
There's an involvement of Billy Bob Thornton's daughter in it, and she's hanging out with this. What is he? A football player?
yes,
Yeah.
he's a very very handsome
Very handsome
Football
football
star.
player.
college football player.
Dakota Loving. Dakota
yeah,
Loving.
and his name. Yeah, that's a great name.
Dakota Loving. But things go a little weird there, and then
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton has to deal with some other people and things. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's
Hackmaster, you
interesting
hit
though.
the road, huh?
Yeah, he's got to go.
Gotta go.
I see you, Ralph. Sorry, I missed you. I just should have said something.
Were you just in jail, or are you doing a Where's Waldo thing?
No, this is a fancy schmancy. Look, it's a Frankenstein shirt,
Oh,
and it goes with.
Oh, I just saw those stripes come up, and it just brought all
This
kinds.
is actually glow in the dark. I can turn off the light and show you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is a Where's Waldo for monster movie fans, I guess. But God, Taylor Sheridan, man,
He's
And you think
phenomenal.
about it, and now I regret it. For some reason, it didn't work out. But back in the old days, actually, when Tommy and I saw Hell or High Water together,
Great
I
movie.
was working on getting an interview with him, and now I don't know if he even does them. Because everybody wants to ask him about what's going on with Kevin Costner and him leaving and all that kind of stuff.
All right, yeah.
But I mean, the guy, he wrote and directed the first 2 episodes of Landman. He
Mm-hmm.
wrote and I think directed at least one, if not the first 2 of Lioness.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's very hands-on with these new shows. I shouldn't say new because Lioness is season 2, but actually appears in season 2 and is a damn great actor. I mean, he's really good. So
Really?
it's like they just keep it going. Tulsa King ends, Landman begins. What's going to happen after that? What are we going to do to get our fix? We better get another mayor of Kingstown is what we need.
Oh God, yes, that's a really good show.
God, that show.
Painful.
Well, it's like you have to watch it just because you get invested with the people, but it's just so depressing.
It is.
Oh God.
Nothing good
Yeah.
ever happens.
That is an outlier with his shows because most of them have a sense of humor. And I guess there are funny things in Mayor of Kingstown, like with Bunny. Bunny Washington is funny, the nicknames he comes up with for Jeremy Renner's character. But I mean, again, I didn't know how funny Landman was going to be until I saw it. And believe me, episode 2, it's even funnier.
Really?
Oh God,
He's good.
Yeah, just because he's so good. Yeah, he can be funny in one hand, and well, he says it at the beginning. You can shit in one hand and wish in the other.
Yeah.
Let's see yep.
And and he can do that. I mean, he has such a great balance where he can be funny where it's a serious situation, and then he's got the situation going on with the ex-wife, and oh my God. What a great show. And you don't see Demi Moore, but Demi Moore is in this show.
God, it's wonderful. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful. All right. Any closing words?
Well, I will tell you that I've seen Wicked already.
Oh, you have?
Oh,
Okay.
Alex went last
about
night.
It yet, because the embargo lifts at 2:00 today, but we'll talk about it on Friday.
Oh, God.
But yeah, and then Gladiator comes out this week too.
Gladiator.
Talk about two mammoths coming at each other at once.
Is that
Hopefully,
a new show?
Gladiator 2 Part 2?
No, remember Gladiator, the movie from a billion years ago?
Oh,
Yes.
It's getting a sequel finally.
Yeah, we're getting a sequel. Ridley
Yep.
Scott directs it.
Okay.
Did you like that, Andy?
I was way too young for it. I watched
that's
it when it was in
true, yeah.
theaters,
Yep.
but I probably shouldn't have. Let's see, when did that come out?
2000, I think.
Yeah, you're right,
99
2000. So
or 2000.
I was 13 when it came out, so it's probably a little young for a movie like that.
Yeah,
Oh my God, you should see it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
it is a great movie. Russell Crowe won Best Actor, won Best Picture. Ridley Scott did not win.
Oh, speaking of Russell Crowe, we tried to watch something he was in the other day. What was that thing called?
He's got a new movie
It was
out.
the worst.
Oh, it was
Worst.
horrible.
I mean, we couldn't even last. We didn't even last 10 minutes. We were like, this acting is so shit. I don't even want
Yeah?
to watch this.
A Russell Crowe show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it on
movie-
Netflix
The movie.
or what?
Movie.
Is it a
Was it
Wasn't
new?
the Exorcism one, was it?
No.
Sleeping
No.
Dogs, Land of Bad, Pope's
Sleep-
Exorcist.
I think it's Sleeping Dogs.
Was it
I don't
Sleeping Dogs? Not good?
Well,
Is it new? Is it fairly new?
That's like brand new.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Must
Is there?
be it.
Does he have a black guy as a
Sleeping Dogs.
co-star? That I didn't know who it was.
Well, I will tell you that the Pope's Exorcist is horrific. I mean, as in bad.
Well,
It's so ridiculous. There's this kid that's possessed talking to him, and it's ridiculous. However,
God.
the Exorcism, which in a way is a takeoff of Father Karras's character, the guy that played him. What the hell's his name? His son is Jason Patrick, but he's got another son. It's kind of like inspired by his time working on The Exorcist. The Exorcism, it's called, and it's actually pretty good. David Hyde Pierce is in it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's actually really good. But there's
Sleeping
another one
Dogs.
called The Pope's Exorcist that came up before that just sucks.
Just terrible.
Hmm.
Sleeping
he's
Dogs
settled
is
himself
Sleeping
into
Dogs.
the B movie stuff now, has he? Although he is going to be in Craven the Hunter, which is a Marvel comic book movie coming out next month. But a
Well,
supporting role. I mean, Russell Crowe's days as a lead, I think, are gone.
Yeah, probably.
This was
In the
Sleeping
big pic-
Dogs. It's a 2024 movie, and it's on. I think it was on Netflix. It was just we just looked at each other like, this is just
It
awful.
was 10 minutes. It was terrible.
I don't even know
Well-
if we lasted 10 minutes.
And that's
No,
about
but-
how long I lasted with The Pope's Exorcist.
Russell not doing so good, huh?
It was
No,
just
no.
awful.
And I think he's a good actor. I think part of him, I don't know, maybe it's just the industry and the way they're dealing with him. I mean, because you don't see him in the real big pictures anymore. He's in a lot of this
Yeah.
direct to streaming kind of stuff.
Well, didn't he kind of go bonkers?
Did he?
Wasn't he
Well-
like out of the industry for a while?
There's a claim that he pissed off the industry when he was a favorite to win for something. Oh, Beautiful Mind.
Oh, yeah. Great.
And
movie.
Denzel
Oh, yeah,
actually
that was
won
good.
for something, Training Day. And the big hubbub before that had something to do with him hitting a guy in the face with a phone. Remember that?
Ooh.
There was he got really pissed off at some hotel clerk and hit the guy in the face with a phone. Alleged. And he got arrested. I'm pretty sure he got arrested. Look it up.
Huh.
Just Google Russell Crowe face phone.
Russell Crowe
And I'm
face
sure
phone.
you're going to get something.
Yeah, I heard he's very hard to work with.
Yes, he hit Eric Estrada, apparently.
Oh.
Or
Eric
someone named
Estrada?
Estrada?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It wasn't
the
Eric Estrada. It was just some guy named Estrada. Okay, because this was in 2005. So he hit an employee of a hotel named Estrada in the face with a telephone. Gave him a cut in the face. Apparently, he meant to throw the phone at the wall near him to scare him, but
Whoops.
instead hit him in the face with it.
Oh.
Whoops.
I think that's going to do a little damage to your reputation, just a little bit.
But this was
So
20
much
years
so
ago.
that it might have cost him an Oscar.
All right, young man. We'll have a great week. We'll talk to you on Friday.
Yeah, yes, you will, and hopefully, I'm not going to have any propane gas issues. Or
Yeah,
anything.
that's
Hopefully
scary.
not.
It'd be nice. Be nice if
I'm
you did.
sitting in front of a wall. The wall is still here, so I didn't flip the switch and kaboom.
Boom.
That's good. Don't light any matches.
No. Okay,
Works for me.
good to see y'all. We'll see you on Friday, Tommy.
Thanks, Timmy.
Bye.
See ya.
Tim Lammers, ladies and gentlemen. Andy, Catherine, any closing words?
Well, the
Jude?
dog has been driving me crazy. He's
know,
like,
he
the
do.
end of the show was
He's ready.
5 minutes ago. Well, it actually isn't. You're a little early on this. Look at him.
I know.
Did you see him?
Yep.
He's
He's actually making noise
It's
and
over.
he's hitting the chair.
Yeah, it's
I mean, what do
supposed
you
to be
have
over.
to do that's so important?
I know, for real. Where do you have to go?
Just,
Yeah, that dog can tell time.
He
It's
can.
really weird.
he's got an
sure
Apple
can.
Watch somewhere.
All right,
He's
Andy.
literally-
Any closing words, Andrew?
You look like you feel better today.
Yeah, I feel better than yesterday, I think. So that's
Stop.
something.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
it's been a fairly uneventful 4 days for me.
Yeah, no question.
Just basically been in bed the past 4 days.
Do-
Down
All
6
right, we
pounds,
better.
though.
He's trying to tip the house over, so we
yeah,
probably
I don't know
better
what
move
his
on.
wants to
problem
leave.
is.
All right, Andrew, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this was before. Every time I hear the sing, reminds me how you talk in my door.